so now we're going to do part 2 of the power law. That's when you have the power law with a product inside. Now, what this law says is that if you have a product inside of a power, each base is written with that exponent. The reason why that works, imagine we have 2 times 3 to the power 3. What does that power of 3 mean? It means that we have 2 times 3, how many times? 3 times. Now, if you have 2 times 3, times by itself 3 times, how many 2's are there? 3. So could I write 2 times 2 times 2 as 2 to the 3? Yes. And how many 3's are there? 3. So the rule says that if you have a product inside of a power, then that exponent can go to both of them. So this exponent goes to both the A and to the B. So if I have this, I could directly say this using this law. Okay? Now, what else could we have done mathematically? If I did order of operations, what could I have done first? 2 times 3. And if I did 2 times 3, then I would get 6, right? So then I would just get 6 cubed. So 2 cubed times 3 cubed is the same as 6 cubed, if I did the inside first. So now we're going to do some here. What I'd like you to do is to write the answer in 2 different ways. One way where you do the inside the brackets first, and one way where you use the new power of a product law. And each of these says evaluate as well. So with evaluate, we want to get a final answer in the end. So in the first one, did you get, if you multiplied them first, did you get 12 cubed? Or if you use the product law, you get 4 cubed times 3 cubed. Now 12 cubed, who I think is 1, 2, 9, 6? No. 1, I don't know, 1298, something like that. Someone have their calculator handy? 1728. Oh, I was way off. Perfect. Now 4 cubed is 64 and 3 cubed is 27, and sure enough, when you do 64 times 27, you get 1728 as well. So this one, if you do these 2 first, you would get -6 to the power 4. Or if you use the new rule, you would get 2 to the 4 and -3 to the 4. Yes? What's that? Okay, you're catching up? Okay. So if we type this into our calculator, this one is 1,296, and 2 to the power 4 is 16, And 3 to the power 4, or negative 3 to the power 4, is positive 81. And if we type 16 times 81 into our calculator, we also get 1,296. The last one, if we do the inside first, negative 12 squared, or we would have negative 3 squared. And when we have a negative, we put it in brackets, because the negative is getting squared as well. And negative 12 times negative 12, well, that'll be a positive or negative answer? Positive. And this will be 9 times 16, which is also 144. Now, when you're dealing with numbers, when you're looking at this, do you find that the first way is easier? Doing the brackets first and then doing the exponent. And that's true. If you do the brackets first, you usually get a number that's easier to work with, and it took less steps to do the first way. But sometimes we're going to get things that don't have just numbers inside, and we still are asked to simplify. So now we have numbers and variables inside the bracket, and we've been asked to simplify. Now at any time, if you get stuck on these, you can always use expanded form to figure it out. Okay? So, for example, in A, if I forgot the power of the product rule, if I forgot that this exponent of 3 can go to both the 3 and to the x squared, I could say, well, what does an exponent of 3 mean? It means that I have this how many times? 3 times. If I had it 3 times, how many 3's do I have? 3. How many x's will I have? No, I have 2 x's here, 2 x's here, and 2 x's here. How many x's do I have? 6. So if you get stuck, you can write it in expanded form. Okay? How about in B here? If we write it in expanded form, it would be that twice. How many 4's do I have? 2. How many A's will I have? 8 of them. How many B's will I have? 6. So now, can you see that the 2 went to the 4? When the 2 went to the a to the 4, we got a to the 8, because that's our power rule. If you have a power to another power, you multiply the exponents. So there's a lot of rules here that we have, but if we ever get stuck, if we go back to what an exponent means, you should be able to figure it out. If you're just relying on memorizing your rules, there's going to be a chance you might mix them up or forget some stuff. So it's a good idea to know what it means, because then you can always go back and say, okay, I know that squared means by multiplied by itself. And you can figure it out that way. So, if we look at this one, if we use the law says since this is all multiplying inside, this exponent on the outside is going to go to each and every one of them. If the exponent of 3 goes to a negative, your answer will be negative, because 3 negatives stays negative. If the exponent of 3 goes to the 5, you'll have 5 cubed. If the exponent of 3 goes to x squared, you'll have x to the 6th. If the exponent of 3 goes to y, you'll have y to the 3. And if the exponent of 3 goes to z to the 3, we'll go to the z to the 9. So if you're good with the law, you could go directly to the answer. If you get to a test or quiz and you're like, I'm not sure about the law, I'm not sure how I would do that, then this 3 means I have this 3 times. And if I have 3 negatives, that's still going to be negative. If I have 5 3 times, I would have 5 cubed. How many x's do I have? I have 2 here, 2 here, and 2 there. 6 in total, 1y, 1y, 1y. 3 in total, 3 z's, 3 z's, 3 z's. 9 in total. I don't need brackets. All right.